Hello, and welcome back to the pricing channel for small businesses. Today we're going to dive into the somewhat complex subject of selling through intermediaries in order to reach the final customer. Now, the primary reason we may want to sell our products or services through an intermediary is that the intermediary will give us access to a much broader range of customers than we can access through our own efforts. For example, I think everyone can appreciate that listing a product on Amazon gives you access to literally hundreds of millions of potential customers. And some intermediaries, like distributors, also tend to bring strong customer relationships in addition to their plain access to customers. These strong customer relationships can dramatically reduce the time required to obtain purchasing commitments for our products and services with the new customers we're seeking to find. So let's take a look at what these various selling relationships look like, and then we'll come back and discuss the pricing challenges.
Retail pricing is the simplest pricing method for businesses going to market. Basically, this method involves a seller and a buyer who agree on a particular price for a product or service. The next level of pricing complexity in going to market is what we call wholesale pricing. In this case, the seller, in addition to having the option of selling directly to the buyer, can instead sell to an intermediary that we call a retailer at some given price, and then that retailer sells to the ultimate buyer. Now, assuming that the buyer can buy from any channel, such as directly from the seller or from the retailer, and that these prices are equal, then that implies that the wholesale price that the seller uses to sell to the retailer is in fact less than the retail price. And so this wholesale price is negotiated between the wholesaler and the retailer, and this wholesale price, discounted from the list price, creates a profit for the retailer to sell to the buyer. Now, if my price to the retailer is less than my direct to the buyer retail price, why would I want to sell to a retailer as the wholesaler? Because this seems to imply that I'm going to make less money. So let's look at an example to illustrate how this works. So let's assume that we sell some type of a sports product on our own website for $60 and that our gross margin is 50%, which means that our gross profit is $30 per sale. All right. Now, we sell about 100 units per month on our website. Well, a company called Great Western Sports, which has 15 regional stores, contacts us, and they tell us that they want to carry our product in their stores. And in order to carry our product, they want a wholesale price of $40 per unit, which now means that our gross profit per sale is only $10. So the question is why would we want to enter into this relationship with Great Western Sports? Because instead of making $30 on a sale, we're only going to make $10. Well, the answer is Great Western Sports tells us, hey, we think that we can sell 2,000 units of your product every month once we have it in all of our stores. And so let's look at how this works out for us. If I sell 100 units per month at $30 profit per unit, that means my gross profit per month is $3,000. On the other hand, if Great Western Sports can sell 2,000 units per month at a $10 profit, that means my gross profit per month is $20,000. And so that being the case, that's not a really hard decision to make. And so this wholesale relationship with Great Western Sports turns out to be very profitable for us compared to just selling our product on our own website. So to recap, wholesaling is selling through an intermediary, which is the retailer, in order to sell to the final customer. Now, other intermediaries that exist are distributors, manufacturing representatives, and affiliate partners. And so the wholesaler-retailer relationship is the main pathway for retail sales. The other intermediaries, such as distributors and manufacturing reps, often work for business-to-business sales. And of course, the affiliate partner relationship is a new way to go through a website in order to reach the final customer. Fulfillment terms that tend to be used with these intermediaries include the final sale, which is where literally as the wholesaler, we sell to one of these intermediaries and they pay us for the product. Another way to do this is called consignment. We'll talk about that more in a few minutes. As well, these intermediaries may either stock inventory of our product, or they may not stock inventory, in which case they may ask us to do the final shipment to the end customer, which we call a drop shipment. This graphic kind of illustrates how the different relationships work. And so here we are as the seller, and we have several options to get to the final customer. We can sell to them directly. We could sell to them through a distributor, or through a manufacturing rep, or through an affiliate partner. And each one of these could, in theory, ask us to do the final shipment to the customer, which would be a drop ship. Now, in terms of pricing, with distributors, there are a couple of different ways to go. Some distributors are stocking distributors. That is, they hold inventory, and most likely they've bought that inventory from us, the wholesaler. And so when they get an order, they fulfill the order, and for all of that work, they're going to want some kind of a discounted price from us, which often can be 25% or more. Some distributors are non-stocking. They don't hold inventory. They go out and fulfill the sales function to the end user, and they may fulfill the order by getting the product from us, or they may just take the order and notify us to drop ship to the customer. And in this case, they will earn a lower discounted price than the stocking distributor because they're performing fewer services for us by not stocking our product. Manufacturing representatives, they perform the sales function. They go out and visit the customers, and then they take orders, and then they notify us to drop ship our product to the final customer. And for their work, they typically get a percentage of the order amount as their compensation. And depending on what they do, this could be something on the order of 10% of the order amount. Affiliate partners are partners, are companies with websites who will list your product on their website, will take the order, and they will notify you to drop ship the product to the end customer. And they likewise take a percentage of the order as their compensation for doing that work. Now, Certainly, we're familiar with Amazon as a very powerful intermediary for getting to the final customer. And they'll list your product. They may stock it or not. And then a fee is charged on a sale, which varies by the situation. If you have a product that's easy to handle, fits in a warehouse just fine, then they may stock it in one of their distribution centers. If it's a big, bulky, or unusual item, like a motorcycle, an ATV, bigger products like that, they will not stock it, and they will tell you who to drop ship the product to when the order is taken. Etsy is another intermediary and kind of a special case. They only list what's called homemade products. And so you have to make the product in order to sell it on Etsy. They do not hold stock of your product, and you are notified of orders and then have to drop ship to the customer. Now, we talked about consignment earlier. Typically, the intermediaries that you deal with will either buy the product from you and stock it, or send it on to the final customer if they're non-stocking, or you have to take the or they will take the order, pay you, and then you have to drop ship it. In consignment sales, you place your product in a physical store, but do not get paid for it until it sells. And so the retailer who's holding your product on consignment will record the sale at the set price, then they pay you the wholesale price, and they keep the remainder of the money. And this works well, especially with new products or untested products, because you can place those products with the intermediary without any payment from the intermediary. And so the intermediary's risk is very low because they've put no cash up front in order to hold the product. Now, if the product turns out to be a big success and is profitable for the intermediary, then it's possible that they will then want to change to a paid stocking arrangement instead of the consignment arrangement.
If that seemed like a lot of material to absorb, remember, the key reason to sell through an intermediary is to drive profit growth through market growth or through customer growth. And any time you enter into a relationship with a retailer, a distributor, a manufacturing rep, or an affiliate partner, you want to create a contract or agreement that spells out who is going to do what and what the pricing structure will look like. You also want to make sure that there is an exit plan in place in case the relationship does not work out as planned. Such an exit plan is often triggered by the failure to meet sales goals by your partner. And for sure, be aware of anyone who is pressuring you into signing onto a quick deal. You must make sure your interests are served by any agreement that you sign. And do not be reluctant to negotiate hard for pricing that truly rewards you for the value you bring to the relationship. And likewise, pricing also has to reward your partner for the value they also bring to the relationship. A lot of information is available on the internet about how all these intermediary relationships work. And so don't forget to tap into that source for information. And since this is a relatively complicated subject, I know you may have questions or comments about this subject, so please put those in the comments section below. And remember, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss a single video. And as always, I look forward to seeing you again.